An evolution of every type, because whenever someone makes fake Pokemon, they always have to do one for every single type. It's like a collect them all sort of thing. If you're going to do them, just do them all. It's like mandatory, but it makes sense, you know. Gives a good completion feeling and all that. It's like when some fan artists do the Dragon Maids in Yu-Gi-Oh! They usually do all of them.
Half of these will be regional variants.
Also, Eevee being your favorite Pokemon makes sense.
The reason I'm doing this at all is because I thought it would be interesting. Anyway,
hey, give some updated designs, I'm fine with that.
Let's look at Vaporeon. It's named after
Start
vapor,
with the classics.
as in water vapor, which is gaseous, which is the flying type's whole thing. Along with
okay, so you're going to make Vaporeon the flying type.
Gaseous and cloud-like. The difference is that while Cryogonal became a cloud, Vaporeon has not, and it's also more opaque. Much like
it's
the
just
original
vapor,
version,
like
it can
fog.
absorb itself into its surroundings, but instead of becoming water, it becomes air. One more design detail is that the bit of cloudy fluff on its forehead is meant to look like a feather, referencing the flying type's affinity for birds. A flying evolution
makes sense to me.
Fully represent the type after all. Also, it uses the Featherstone to evolve. Skipping over
okay, I'm down that. Solid start. Okay.
Jolteon isn't one of them. I decided to put the flare into Flareon. And no,
okay.
I don't mean flare isn't fire. I mean style. As it's now a
works
dancer.
for me. I'm okay with this.
Scottish ballet,
be a bit of a rarity, you could say.
And stylish outfits. So it's fighting type for a similar reason to Hisui and Lilligant. To keep these variants having
Lilligant became a fighting type? I didn't know that.
An Aura Stone to evolve.
I'm cool with that though. That's pretty neat.
It's interesting to note that it is on its hind legs for dancing. It is not
okay.
like Needle. It is just dancing. It is also reminiscent
Put your pitchforks down.
Which involves couples dancing with other couples, tapping their feet onto the ground to the tune of what is usually an 8-bar phrase of music. Of course, because it's Scotland, kilts are worn traditionally. So to reference that, Flareon's tail wraps around its waist like a skirt. Also, its chest fluff has reduced, mainly since the silhouette would be too cluttered if not, but there is at least some, and it resembles a bow tie. I think it's very dapper and very cute.
I agree, it looks good.
Johto Eeveelution.
Looks good, yeah.
Espeon is my choice for the bug
It's
type.
becoming with the bug type.
Like
alright, we're gonna change it up a bit.
Be similar enough to how bugs communicate with pheromones,
Espeon looks
as
oddly good as a bug.
Like I've seen with other bugs.
And we're playing with the old shiny form
This will
for
be on the
it.
team
That's
of the
fun.
Bug Gym Leader, exclusive to Pokemon Agate. I'm not ready to show him off, but I will say the theme of his team composition is really strong bug types. So what are the strongest
Works for
bugs?
me.
Beetles. There are a few beetles.
It
in
oddly
Scotland and
fits,
Canada,
especially with
and
those
there are some
pincers by the
species of beetle
ears.
that are green. So I think this works out. This inspiration is the reason why Espeon now has a hard segmented body and mandibles on the ears. So Croneo and Umbreon is poison type.
Now it's
which may
poison
remind
type.
you
Looks like
of
it's
Umbreon's
melting a
basic
bit.
concept of also being poison type before they decided
Didn't change too much of Umbreon's design though, but hey, you know, you got a banger design, keep it.
Poison. So what if it secretes so
You're
much
leading
poison
into it.
becomes poison incarnate? The theme of the Poison Gym Leader
Umbreon
is that
already
she's
looks great, so don't need to change
all
too
poison
much.
Pokemon, as she relates to them being outcasts like she feels she is. Umbreon isn't her ace, as I have something more fitting. I'll show her
Fair
and
enough.
the Bug Leader when I show their aces. Since it's poisonous to the touch, trainers have to take care, and many feel like it may be too dangerous to have around. They also still require a certain time of day to evolve, but instead of friendship they need to eat a new kind of berry, the Nisha berry, based on nightshades which are highly poisonous. My partner also wanted to do regional variants of Eeveelutions for his region. Since we both wanted to do a rock-type Sylveon, we're going to share Sylveon. For the sake of the Croneo region series, I'm going to call it Croneo and Sylveon. But canonically, it's from the region my partner is working on. This rock-type Sylveon variant is imported from another region.
Looks like it's proper and posh.
Hence the golden elements on both it and the shiny design. Its personality reflects this, being pampered all the time. My partner wanted the white parts.
It looks like it too. Kind of reminds me of Persian from,
how to do it without making
you know, Team Rocket's Persian that Giovanni had.
Which fit the design perfectly. I also wanted crystals to be part of the design, and my partner liked the way they looked on Mega Diancie, so we tried
So we leaned into that a bit.
Simple. He also chose the ability, Cute Charm, while I decided the hidden ability, which would be Crystallize, much like Gastronite's hidden ability. It's
sounds good to
the
me.
Same as Sylveon's actual hidden ability, but instead of turning normal moves into fairy, it turns them into rock. Speaking of rock
for me,
moves,
I like
the
it.
evolution method while my partner had input on the specifics. I'm removing the affection/friendship part of the method, since that's difficult, but makes sense due to fairy being the best type in the game. I decided that it would be a specific rock type move Eevee would learn sometime in the level 20s. That being a new move called Diamond Dust. Wait, that's kind of weather. Diamond Powder! It's essentially a
Okay.
much less powerful Diamond Storm, Diance's signature move, and it could also be learned by more Pokemon which are Rock or Fairy type. Think of it as a Rock-type version of Fairy Wind. If you've made it this far
Works
into
for me.
the video,
I'm fine with
why
that.
not consider subscribing to see more videos like
Yeah, go
this?
check out
While
Dr.
you're at
Eevee's
it,
channel.
maybe
Link
give
channel
the video
description
a
below
like,
as
and maybe
always.
comment what your favorite Eeveelution
These
video
are some more
is. I also
pushing.
have a Discord server, as well as an
Help
Instagram
me-
account for the Croneo
need some
region.
help out.
If you want to go the extra
You
mile
should
in
get
supporting
some.
this channel, why not consider subscribing to my Patreon? Completely
What you do with your money is
optional, but it
entirely
will
your own
help out a
choice,
lot.
and if you want to
Now,
support him, go
on
right
to the
ahead.
Brand new Eeveelutions. Let's go for normal. Normal is a very catch-all type.
You already
Used
have
for
an
many concepts that
Eeveelution
don't fit
that's
the other
normal.
7.
It's called
It's
Eevee.
also popular in the Fakemon community to have a normal Eeveelution.
Ah, nice
capable of
fruit art
embodying
reference.
all
I
types,
appreciate that.
Sometimes with a rainbow theme. So I
It's
just
nice to go with the
leaned
Arceus
into that.
theme.
Meet Prideon. Yes, I made an Eeveelution based on the LGBTQ+ spectrum. Scotland made
The everyone but straight
the
spectrum,
most
yes.
progressive country in Europe, but it's up there as one of them, which I have represented with some characters in Croneo being not exactly cishet normative. I wanted Prideon to be a walking pride parade, and part of that is covering it in the colours of the pride flag. Making them accent colours as well as having the main bulk of them be on the tail was the way to go for me, as having the
Makes
main
sense
body
to me.
not be
It's a good
plain would have been
design.
a bit visually
I like
less.
that.
I even have its neck fluff be based on the triangle on the Progress Pride flag, which represents those who are also a part of the black and trans communities, who tend to be underrepresented in the community. And it is a flag commonly seen within Scotland. Also representing pride is music. Music is commonly played at pride parades and at pride concerts. Normal is also the de facto sound type after all. Also, Eevee's tail reminds me of a paintbrush, so with a colourful design, why not paint the whole town gay? Ghost time now!
I ain't
So Halloween
touching
was
any of
invented
that.
by the Celts, as was trick-or-treating specifically.
I'd rather
Since
not
I
get
think
into that
Pokemon
debate.
wouldn't make a ghost Eeveelution literally dead, why not go for this cute idea? So when a ghost charge is stored on the special rod, check out the video in the iCard to learn more, you get Geysion. A guise being an external form, appearance, or manner of presentation, typically concealing the true nature of something, which is why the alternative name for trick-or-treating, guising, gets its name. Guise as a word also feels weirdly ghosty. It uses the power
Makes sense
of
to
the
me.
spirit
It's a good way of
world
going with
to
it, especially
dress
with the
up.
spooky
origin
ghost
of its
aesthetic.
feet are just decoration,
Bossy skeleton.
and the skull
Yeah.
and skeleton pattern isn't always there. It just lights up whenever attacking, or feeling particularly emotive. The purple is literally the same colour as Gengar, the definitive ghost Pokemon, and the green gives
True.
off the vibe of
It's
ectoplasm
definitive ghost
and
type because it was literally the only ghost type for a while. Okay, not literally. Its line was literally, but
Dressing
still.
up as a skeleton is a common Halloween costume after all. It also
Yeah.
simply gives the vibes of Day of the Dead from Mexico, which is probably
Works for me,
the
I like
most
that
famous
stuff.
cultural tradition to do with the dead along with Halloween. Again,
Yeah.
it's not dead, just spiritual. That being said, its ears and tail
It's
do
spiritually
have some
dead.
transparency a la Dragapult. Ground was probably the hardest to come up with, since it's hard to utilize ground in a unique way a lot of the time. Something which I haven't tackled yet is peat. Meet Petion. So, the peat block was introduced in Legends Arceus, and was only available in Hisui. Well, now it's available in Croneo as well, since Scotland
Cool.
and Canada have loads of peat, even more than Hokkaido. So the
So
power of the
much
peat block
peat.
is now amplified.
Just thinking
So
of
not only
Pete
can
from frickin'
Ursaring
Mickey
evolve
Mouse.
into Ursaluna in Croneo, but Eevee's ground-type evolution has been unlocked. Peat can be hard, peat can be slimy, peat can be many different shades of brown, peat can grow a bit of grass, all of which are represented here. I guess Petion is quite literally a mud puppy, but with peat instead of mud.
In a way,
Industrial is
yeah.
what I came up with for steel. A lot of these
I like
elements
that sort of
do
look with the
come from
gears and
other
stuff. It's a
steel-type
good look.
Eeveelutions from the Fakemon community, mainly segmented
Bit
plating
robotic, but it
bolts,
makes
as well as
sense.
cogs for a collar. For a fairly inorganic type, making the metallic elements feel like it's a living creature while still trying to give off the vibe of industry is quite difficult, but I think we managed it. I find it so incredibly odd that the only Pokemon directly based on British industry in Galar was Roly-Poly. Many thought a Steel-type Eeveelution would fit this, and that's what Industrion is. Not just referencing the Industrial Revolution, but also steel in industry as well.
Makes
Since
sense to
Croneo
me.
is based in
Works
Scotland,
out
which has a
well.
lot of connection to this, I felt this fit the Steel-type Eeveelution from Croneo. And to evolve Eevee into Industrion, it must use a new move called Cast
Flash
Iron
Cannon?
20
Oh,
times.
Cast Iron.
It's a
Okay.
Steel-type move, not exclusive to Eevee, that raises defense by one stage. But if the user received a move with super effective damage immediately prior, its defense will go up by 2 stages. And finally,
Assuming it didn't
we
die
have
to the super effective move.
Draconion. The final special type not to get an Eeveelution, and another one people are scratching their heads at as to why we don't have one yet. The basis of this one is
There's that cute and cuddly.
There's a city in Scotland called Dundee, and one of its most famous cultural landmarks is the dragon statue. The reason why there's a dragon statue in Dundee is that the city has an affinity for dragons. The statue isn't very old, but the affinity for dragons is. So Croneo is basically Dundee the Pokemon. It may seem quite generic.
Works for me. I like it.
Some of its features
it's good design
are
for
inspired by the
Eevee.
statue, including spiky parts as well as the colour scheme. Green also works due to being the colour of many European dragons, and gold works due to the affinity dragons have for gold and treasure. I'm surprised trade evolutions haven't been done for the Eeveelutions yet. So Eevee becomes Draconion when traded holding the Draken helmet item.
No thank
So
you,
now
I'm
Eevee
never
has
getting
an
that
evolution
Team Party
for every
member.
type.
Dang it.
Which one is your favourite? Comment down below. Remember to like, comment and subscribe.
There were lots of
Check
good
out
designs,
all
and
the
this one I
below
thought it was
see
interesting
all
to
the
go
artists
the
who
route
worked
also
on this,
turning some of the
as
existing
well
one into
as
regional
all of my
variants, I guess you could
socials
say,
on your
and just basically turn
Discord
Espeon into a
and
bug
my
type, or
Patreon.
turn
And with
Flareon
that,
into...
I'll see you next
Well, no,
time.
actually, Flareon
Goodbye.
stayed the same, so there's no changes there. Turn Vaporeon into the flying type. It's an interesting way of going about things. All the designs of this thing were pretty dang solid. I like the Draconion, the Ghosteon, what do you do with Umbreon was just like a point, it was just like genius, but Umbreon was already pretty genius, so again, you don't need to change perfection. I know the frickin' Eevee one's probably one that's gonna cause feelings about how I looked at, but I'd rather not get into that sort of discussion when discussing Pokemon, and that, I'll put it that way. I don't care what you identify as or who you are as a person or any of that stuff. I just don't really want to think about that sort of thing. Like, we have our freaking discussion in Pokemon, we're just like, oh, look, it's how the climate changes and all that stuff. I don't know. Let me put it this way, I don't care. I don't care what you are. Just be a decent person, that's what matters at the end of the day. Right, okay, we'll leave it at that. I don't care what you are, as long as you're a decent person. There, leave it at that. Boom. Gay, straight, black, white, who gives a shit at the end of the day? Just be fine, and as a human being. The end. But whatever. At the end of the day, all the Pokemon here were pretty dang solid, and I'd be happy with just about any of them in my party. But knowing me, I'd probably just stick with like friggin' Flareon and call it a day, because Fireboy. But who knows, maybe I'll take the Steelion or something. Or Industrialion, as I should call it by its name. Never summon the Dragon, though, because it was a trade evolution. That ain't happening. Or I could be that one asshole with the Haunter that has the Everstone. You're never getting a Gengar. Oy. What a dick move. They knew what they were doing, too. They totally did that shit on purpose. I mean, it's freaking confirmed in the dialogue, even, so yeah, duh. But overall, I think these were all some solid designs, and I like Espeon as the bug type. That one works surprisingly better than I expected it to. Like, dang. And I don't think I saw a Jolteon, but I guess that one was either the same or I just missed it. But yeah, I guess you can't include them all with Leafeon, so I guess some of them will mix over. Why change a good thing? Plus, we're trying to get all of the types, so changing the types of ones we already have doesn't really help anything. But I think how he went about things was perfectly good, and I liked it. So, yeah, another good episode of Pokemon Croneo region by Dr. Eevee. Go check him out in the link to the channel description below. And, yeah, awesome work that I'm glad I checked out, and he creates good stuff as always. So, well, yeah, with all that said, not much else to say. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See all of you next time. Later.